9. You get a fish flash, you get a no limit, fast limit, kokanee dodger. I got a rooster tail. I got a really nice Yakima bait and one of my favorite color hats. So we got a little prize pack for you guys, but we're gonna be talking about rigging, whether it's a fish flash and a herring or a spinner, because last year was a spinner year like no other. I'm telling you, I've never seen the bait bite die and the spinner bite gets so good so fast last year. So you can't just have one, but you better have both, right? So let's run us in a little bit about how you're rigging these things, and I know you do really well with both of them. So let's start with the Pro Trolls.
Okay, so when we're fishing a 360, the question that I get most often is what are your lengths? And what I like to do with my bumper, which is going to be between my lead line and my 360, in my case, I love using Pro Trolls. There's other good 360s out. I like to use 60-pound mono for my bumper. And so I'll just take a foot, and then I'm going to have about 9 inches more. So that's going to be 21-inch bumper.
But including your clips. Now I want to say, this is something that he does. He's measuring clips, not the line. I've seen a lot of people measure the line, then you add 2 more clips, and now you've added, 1.5 inches to 2 inches like that.
You could make it a 2-footer just easily by not doing that.
Yeah, well, let's bring this stuff in here, the Oregon Tackle Tech Cam overhead, and we can actually get into details on this. And now let's talk about spinners. What are you using here?
So this is a Hildebrandt spinner here, red and white. We were using size 6, 5, 6, 7 thumpers here not too long ago at all, and now we're into the 3.5 realm. So
well, I'll tell you what I've noticed is that we are now using these with the Pro Trolls because of the amount of drag they use, but we're still using those big ones. So I fish with Buzz Ramsey a lot. Love the guy. I love fishing, especially buoy 10. He rigs these different. He runs these in line with his little spreader, that inline spreader that floats on the line.
I use those.
He puts it right up on it. No leader line between it, which is genius because not having that gap, it just gets that fish to the boat faster. You don't have as much slack in the line when guys are cranking it up. When you got a 10'6" rod hanging off your boat and you got 10 feet of leader and all this junk off of it, people crank it to the top and they go, I can't go any further. That's where high stick, that's where breaking rods happens.
Yeah.
But we ran those bigger spinners and had awesome luck. There again, red and white. It was a good color, right? You picked the right blade to talk about.
Very common buoy 10 color.
Yeah, so we've gone to the smaller ones with the Pro Trolls and stuff. Now, what leader length are you running off of this to your spinner?
I generally like to run 24 to 30. A general rule of thumb for me is 2 feet and change. So I'll come along and I'll just think about a ruler. I got 2 feet there, a foot there, another foot there, and there's a little bit of change.
Right, and you got your bead
chain.
chain.
About 28 inches there. What I do on the other end of my leaders, if I'm fishing freshwater, I might just have a black barrel swivel here. But when I'm fishing salt, I'm probably going to want to have something stainless, and I like to use something light. Instead of using a 6 bead, I'm probably going to use a 4, just to keep everything light back here. And then it's just easy to clip right on, and you're fishing.
Yeah, having those interchangeable and having some pre-tied already, it's going to make a big difference when you're on the water, especially if you get on a bite. We were talking about this. The guys that are really successful, whether it's buoy 10 or the Willamette, I know you've been out there fishing, when you get on fish, it's really hard to stay on those fish. And you may only get a 30-minute bite in that section where you either have to move upriver and stay with that pack. You don't have time to be retying stuff and changing things if you're trying to get a shorter or longer one. Now, you said 24 to 30 inches. Do you do 24 at a certain time and then extend it out to 30 if like maybe the water is clearer or anything like that?
Very good question. A lot of times I'm going to notice that I'm worn or I have some line memory I don't like. I'll snip it off. If I started with a 29, I can snip off two inches of line and make it a 26.5 or 27, and well, we'll just let that one go. Mm-hmm. Generally, I'm running 6 or 7 rods, so I definitely don't have a problem mixing up leader lengths and seeing what works for that particular day.
Okay.
The further back that I go from the flasher, the less action I'm going to have on my spinner. The closer up towards the flasher, it's really going to start moving around a lot more, and the fish may not want that. They may want it a little bit further back. But one important thing that we've got to do at buoy 10 is we got to crimp our barbs. So I call this wrecking my hooks.
Well, and having the right hooks that will allow you to pinch them, because sometimes you pinch a barb on a hook, you've really weakened that frame because you're pinching it on both sides.
Yeah.
And I've seen where, depending on the company and depending on the hooks, it can be an issue. So, and I love these Hildebrands. I can't say enough about them. Last year, they saved my bacon and kept me from losing fish. And so it was a real game changer. So they're awesome. They're awesome.
A real weak point with this type of rigging is that if you look at that hook, that's like a big trout hook or a steelhead type of hook, and you could be hooking a 30-pound salmon on that. If nothing else, you've got a saltwater salmon that's capable of pulling those hooks out straight. So once I've taken the barbs off, you notice there's very little distance between the shank and the tip of the hook there. That's only about a half inch.
We ran out of time. These are awesome. Thank you for the tips. I knew this was going to happen. We ran out of time. Couple things I want to talk about. I'm at the Special Kids Day up in Merwin tomorrow. Owen Hayes will be back in studio, so we'll be live with Fish Time. We got the day at the park coming up next week. So be safe, guys. Have fun outside, and we'll see you tomorrow.